Alrighty boysies, how yous doing? How yous doing this fine day? We're coming to you live from the dusty old man home video store. And we're going to do something, boys, I've wanted to do for quite a while. I've wanted to make a video about my favourite games in some form. I was going to do like a big list and a big video on my other channel, but I decided against it because I was doing a lot of capturing footage, so I've now just got a lot of footage left over. But anyway, I'm talking shite. We're going to dig down through my 25 favourite games, and aye boys, it's been really hard because I actually got a list on my phone here, which I sat and figured out like all my games I consider my favourite, and we've got about 68 here. I think about 68 last time I counted it. Now obviously, not every game's going to get on this list. There's going to be quite a few hard ones I need to cut. But, might as well start off with the really obvious ones. I'm going to start off with the game that I have made no secret about. Persona 4 is my favourite game of all time. I adore it. It just felt so different to everything else I played at the time. I played games, I played the RPGs quite a lot. And a lot of RPGs are either one of two things. They're either fantasy, medieval based, or they're sci-fi. And then suddenly Persona 4 came along and felt so radically different to everything else. Again, honourable mentions, Persona 3 is phenomenal. Persona 5 is... I'd probably suggest, if someone willing to play Persona for the first time, I'd say play Persona 5. But Persona 4 was the first one I played, and it hit such a special place for me, especially because I was at a point in my life where I'd moved away. I didn't really have many friends. I say I moved away, I moved to another part of the city, I left school, so I'd felt very isolated, and suddenly here's a game about someone who moves away, feels isolated, and that's kind of sad, but that's the connection I've got with this game, is that, it felt very personal to me. It felt, obviously, as a sort of kid that was kind of bullied, obviously the whole theme of going, that you hide things from yourself and you need to come to face to face with your real self, that obviously spoke to me. So enough that the themes and all that, the characters are really fun, the whole sort of mystery thing's really fun. I love the combat. It felt so unique for the time. Obviously Shin Megami Tensei has been doing that for years, but it was the first Persona game I played and it blew my mind. But I could sit here and talk about Persona all day, so we'll move swiftly on and say Persona 4 is my number one favourite game. So my top 4 are kind of in a lock. The rest of them, there is a bit more flux with it, but next up, probably in my second place, is a game I consider perfect. So I'm going to Metal Gear, where's it? Metal Gear Acid. Oh, Metal Gear Acid. Oh, I forgot to say we're doing one per franchise, which I've had to do some rough cuts there. I can't see. Obviously, it's here, so if I just put it. There we go. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. I put in Subsistence because I've played the HD version, which is basically Subsistence. And yeah, Metal Gear, I consider Snake Eater an absolutely perfect game when it comes to the story. The boss fights being possibly the greatest boss fights in any video game ever. What else is there? The camouflage system being really fun. The food system blew my mind. It felt really, like, how do I say, was it immersive? Is that a good term for it? And then there was just so many like crazy little details that were in there, like things like, even little things I really enjoyed, like how you can change perspective during cutscenes. It was just little things I loved. I had played Metal Gear Solid 2 before, but I didn't really get into it until I played Metal Gear Solid 3. It was actually my friend. Once he got a 360, he went, "Oh, I'm done with the PS2," and just gave me a shit ton of games. And Metal Gear Solid 3 was one of them. And I absolutely fell in love with Metal Gear Solid 3. Absolutely love it, adore it. It's amazing, and I can't wait for Metal Gear Solid Delta because I'll be playing through it all again. And I absolutely love Metal Gear Solid 3. My favourite in the series, again, games like I don't know if I'll count. I'll probably want a room on this, but I want to shout out Metal Gear Acid 2 as well, when they turned Metal Gear Solid into a card game on the PSP and was phenomenal. But Metal Gear Solid 2 has also got a shout out. Metal Gear Solid 5 has the best gameplay in the series, but the story isn't great. This cunt just loves Clock Tower 2. Unfortunately, we've escaped Clock Tower. We're not playing Clock Tower. We're counting down my 25 favourite games, Dan. And I've got 2 right now. Right. Now we're getting into hard bits here, because what am I counting next? Tell you what. Final Fantasy is a massive part of my life. In fact, I love Final Fantasy. It was one of the first games I got super into was Final Fantasy 8. That was the first game, I think, it was like, big RPG that I got into. Love Final Fantasy 8. I went back and played parts of 7 and like Rebirth and stuff like that. I still need to actually play the original 7. I love Final Fantasy 6. Final Fantasy X was the first game I ever got excited for the sort of pre-release for, you know? Like, that's the first one I was reading magazines for and stuff like that. And 10 is fucking great in my opinion as well. But if I've got to choose one Final Fantasy and we're doing one per franchise, I'm sorry, it's got to be Final Fantasy 9. Final Fantasy 9 is absolutely perfect for me. It's amazing. I love the style, the characters being so. It's kind of like a fairy tale type thing, and it was really cool because a lot of RPGs around that time, obviously you got your Final Fantasy 7 and 8s, and then 9 came around and it was like heavy fantasy again. I absolutely adore the party in it, apart from Amonrant, who I think takes his time appearing. Obviously by the time he appears you've kind of filled all the slots in your party, but it blew my mind with the difference between that and like even little things like being able to interact with the environment a bit more, because Final Fantasy 8 felt like you were walking along you were walking over like what's the term? Oh, forget when it's like the characters are on paintings, like they're two separate things, you know? But Final Fantasy 9 felt like you were part of the environment, even though again it was... It felt more like a living, breathing world to me, that's what I'm trying to say. The story does go off in the very last section, but all up to that, absolutely perfect. And things like even like the weapon synthesis system blew my mind as a kid. I know it was something as simple as getting two swords and putting them together, but it blew my mind that I was suddenly cutting a bit like Darth Maul. Pre-rendered backgrounds, that's the term I was thinking of. But Final Fantasy IX to me was the first one that felt like you were part of a living, breathing world. But again, Final Fantasy 8, apart from once you get around the junction system, is a really good game. Final Fantasy X is absolutely perfect in my opinion. But 9 is my favourite. 9, and I'm doing one per franchise. Otherwise, 6, 10, 9, 10, maybe 8 would be on the list. Maybe 8 would be down lower. You know, but if I'm really going down to brass tacks, 9's my favourite. Next up, this one's gonna be a bit spicy. This one's gonna be a bit hard to explain. This is the one I've got a bit of shame about. So, the next game that I've counted my favourite is a game called Katawa Shoujo. So Katawa Shoujo is a visual novel dating sim that was made by people on 4chan. Now, that's all alarm bells are going off there. Katawa Shoujo is one of the best representation of disabilities there's ever been. It's about your main character. He plays a character who has a heart attack and has to go into a school for people with additional needs. And it is one of the best, most nuanced, most heartfelt representations of people with disabilities you'll ever find in media, which you don't really get in video games much, apart from, like, you might see a character in a wheelchair, but this one was like... Yeah, Katawa Shoujo is amazing. It's one of the ones I feel I need to explain a lot, but Katawa Shoujo is genuinely one of my favourite games. It's up there with, like... So, Final Fantasy 9, Katawa Shoujo, and Metal Gear Solid 3 kind of are in flux from my top 4, you know? Or top 3, or... You know what I mean? Persona 4 is in the number 1 spot, but Persona 4 is in the number 1 spot and will not shift. I don't know if it's actually made by 4chan users, I just liked it. Oh no, if I remember, it was a Japanese artist just drew, I think it was Hanako, drew art of Hanako, and 4chan liked it, and then they started talking, and then that's kind of where it came from, is all these ragtag developers came together or made it on Renpei, which is quite an easy system to use. What are you doing, Sharon? How's your day going? Right, now I'm just going to check the list, because that's when it gets hard. Because these are the ones, if I always say are my favourite games, these 4, they're the ones that are definitely there. And I'm just having a look, what else am I going to put on that list? What else am I going to look? Persona 4 dancing is good. I do like the music, but its story mode does stay around for too long and is a bit overran, understuffed, if that makes sense. Right, what else am I going to count as my favourite games ever? Oh my god, I'm reading this list here. Right, there's one that I need to put on this list, and this one is going to be a bit... Not so much, because the game isn't what it used to be. Right guys, I'm not going to put Overwatch 2 on the list. I'm going to put the original Overwatch on the list, because I am not an online games guy. I never got into, like, when everyone was playing Call of Duty. I never got into it when people was playing Dota. I never got into it when everyone was playing League of Legends. I've never been a multiplayer guy. Even when I was playing MMOs, I was a solo player. But Overwatch really fucking changed that. Overwatch was amazing because it was a time where I was just done with, like, I was absolutely done with multiplayer shooters. You know, you had things that were like Battlefield and Call of Duty were the two big ones, and then suddenly Overwatch comes around. Every character is like a fucking G.I. Joe character. They're really colourful, they all stand out, and it's just obviously the hero. They didn't invent the hero shooter, but I think Overwatch done it the best. Obviously, Overwatch 2 kind of killed that for me, and the game is better now, but it's never gonna get to the heights when I first played it. And oh, fucking adore Overwatch! It's amazing. And yes, I'm Moira Junker Queen now main if I do play it. But back in the day, I was a big Winston main. He was my boy. Right, what else have we got? So that's 5 then, we've got 20 more. Okay, I'm just looking at this list and it's going to be hard to choose. Oh god, there's another one I need to put on the list. This game I consider an absolute masterpiece, and every time I think about it, I'm just like, oh, download it again, we'll get it downloaded, you know. Let's see if I can find it. There we go, Shadow of the Colossus. Absolutely phenomenal game. Work of art. Absolute amazing game, like when it comes down to pushing the PS2 to its limits. The scale of things, the beautiful, beautiful storytelling told without any words. And amazing. How dare you, Proto? Out my house. We're talking about my favourite games ever. And we've currently got Persona 4 in the #1 spot, Metal Gear Solid 3, Final Fantasy 9, Katawa Shoujo, Overwatch, and Shadow of the Colossus. Right. So we've got Shadow of the Colossus again, which is a work of art. Not many games I would consider like games as art, but Shadow of the Colossus is one. And oh, it's so good. So good. Right, I'm looking back at a list. Right. There's a bit of a meme here that got last. It's deserved when I say it, but this one's gonna be hard because I need to choose one of the Sly games. What is that game? What is this game? We'll worry about it afterwards. Right, so honestly, boys, it's a 2-horse race between Sly 3 and Sly 2. Oh, this is hard. They're both fucking phenomenal games. I'm going to just edge it out to Sly 2, because Sly 3 does have one level I don't like, which is the flying stages. Actually, I'm going to just change the cover. I'm going over that one because that one looks a bit better. But aye, Sly 2 is phenomenal. Megan asked me last night, because I made a joke about how it was a PlayStation state of play, and I was like, that's it, the Sly thing's starting again. She goes, why do you like it so much? And I was like, because it's a phenomenal 3D platformer that blends stealth action, which no one really does, you know. It's got super fun character designs, the levels are really fun. I know I've said the word fun a lot, but that's just what Sly Cooper is. It's just really fucking fun. And I absolutely adore the character and wish to bring it back, because you know, you get tons of other 3D platformers, you get tons of other stuff, but then Sly Cooper's this, again, I love the climbing mechanics, I love the stealth mechanics, and just intertwine that with a collectathon thing, and it's really, really good. Also, it's just a fun sort of setup with Sly Cooper getting chased down by Carmelita, and then his two pals. It's just and it's really diverse with different kind of gameplay and shit like that, you know? But anyway, enough about Sly Cooper, because I will be here all day talking about Sly Cooper. Sly 3 is a honourable mention, because Sly 3 is really fucking good as well, but the flying stage just eggs it out for me, because I'm not a big fan of the flying stage. Right, what else have we got? Let's have a look. Oh god, there's so many games in this list that I want to put on, but I can't put them all on. Oh, right. If we're gonna go with... So, this is, again, I want to say this is not the best games ever, because there's clearly, like, there's not going to be a Zelda game in this list, because I've not played Zelda. And there's games that I consider better, but are like personal favourites, and I kind of need to go for this one, because this is a unique game that I can't really... I can't really put into words how it gives you a different feeling from other games, because... Nope, not Super Goat. Super Hot, but specifically Super Hot VR. I cannot describe to you the experience of playing Super Hot VR, because Super Hot's gimmick is basically it's a first-person shooter puzzle game where time only moves when you do. It's a great gimmick. I love playing the console version, but I picked up an Oculus Rift when I had some extra money, and one of the games I noticed in that was Super Hot. Playing this on VR is unlike anything else. You feel like fucking John Wick. You feel absolutely amazing. You know, it's a shorter experience to the full game, but Superhot VR is immense. It's nothing else is quite like it. You ever played the board game? I have not played the board game of Superhot. Does that exist? How does that work? But I again, this is not the best game ever. I'm sure this isn't the best VR game. It's not the best first-person shooter ever. But when it comes to experiences and gameplay, it is unlike anything else on this list. It's Kickstarter. It's alright. I'm not a massive board game guy. I'll maybe give it a look. But Superhot VR. If you get a chance to play it because it's an experience unlike anything else. Again, it is not the best game in the world, but it is very, very good. How could I forget this one? Right. So, boys, this is a game I actually only played first time on stream. And it's another game that is in the... Haha, Mikey keeps asking for the sequels, but it's never coming. Because this game is actually based on a book. This game is Parasite Eve. Another game I consider perfect. A game that combines horror or survival horror games with JRPG elements. And is absolutely phenomenal. It comes to the music, comes to the gameplay, very cinematic for a time. It came out, I want to say, just around the same time as Final Fantasy VII, I want to say. I think it came out after because it came out a demo disc for one of the Final Fantasies, because that's what Square used to do. But Parasite Eve is unlike anything else. There's nothing else out there like it. Even the sequels diverge so radically. But see the first Parasite Eve, phenomenal. There's only one game I'd say is kind of close to getting that, I feel, and that's Kudelka. But Kudelka's a very different sort of tactical RPG in comparison. But Parasite Eve, Aya Brea is one of the coolest, most badass characters Square's ever put out, and it's a shame that we're probably never going to get a sequel. And the Third Birthday fucking butchered it. I've never been one for shouting character assassination, but Third Birthday was that. It was awful. But Parasite Eve, absolutely phenomenal, great game. I suggest anyone play it. It's amazing. Right, oh god. Oh, this is even harder breaking it down. What ones? Right, what else is really good? What else? Well, it's all really good. Oh, another one. So this one is on a console. It does not exist. This one is from the Sega Saturn. And this is one I had not played of until I heard about it from not Harding. I heard about it from a Screw Attack list. And then when I seen it was coming to... It was coming to Xbox Live, I decided to pick up Guardian Heroes. And Guardian Heroes is a RPG / beat 'em up, and it is the best beat 'em up I have ever played. It has a lot of divergent paths, a lot of different, has tons of different enemies, has an insanely, the characters have movesets that are as deep as a fucking fighting games, you know? And that's not including enemies and bosses and shit like that have these deep things. So much so, I believe there was, for a very short time, there was actually a fighting game sort of community around it, or a versus community, even though it's unbalanced as fuck. But Guardian Heroes is amazing. I actually have done a speedrun with it as well. I'm the world record in one of the categories. But again, fucking adore it. There's a sequel that I've never played. It was made by Treasure. Treasure make nothing but fucking great games. Saying that, I've not played quite all of them. I've played Gunstar Heroes and shit like that, but Guardian Heroes is something else. If you can, and you have an Xbox, get it on Xbox Live Arcade. I really wish they port it to Windows. I really, really wish. Or something else, because it's a game that really deserves to be out there. But luckily, it's on Xbox, so it is out in some form, you know? Because for ages it was stuck on the Sega Saturn. It's not one I keep thinking about maybe picking up a copy of, but it's very expensive. Very, very expensive. Right, next up. Oh god, right. Another one. So, we're talking about Clock Tower earlier, because obviously we're playing Clock Tower. And I love stalking horror when it's done well. And if there's one game that does it very, very well, and it is Haunting Ground. Haunting Ground is the best stalker horror ever. It pushes the PS2 to its absolute limits. I've noticed a lot of late era PS2 games here with Metal Gear Solid 3, Persona, Shadow of Colossus, Sly 2 and Haunting Ground. You can tell I've got a very specific period and time that I like, but Haunting Ground is phenomenal. Stalker, they do the Stalker just right, because I feel if you do a Stalker, it's either always on you, it's really annoying, or they're not a threat. But Haunting Ground just has that that just perfect sort of amount where they're chasing you down and it feels scary, but you can actually get things done, if you know what I mean. And it's a genuinely terrifying game. It was in this weird period of time where a lot of horror media was talking about like women's bodies being, you know, because there's things like Haunting Ground, Silent Hill 3, Rule of Rose has that sort of as well, you know. But Haunting Ground is really, really fucking good. I cannot recommend it enough when it comes to like horror, survival horror. Shame it's never getting a sequel. RIP in peace. Right. I feel like I should put on something. Alright. Tell you what, let's go with this one's gonna be hard because I'm a big fan of the Professor Layton series. In fact, I've played through most of them on stream. But what one's my favourite? Oh god, The Last Spectre's very good. The Diabolical Box is also phenomenal. I think just when the Curious Village is obviously the one that started it, but Miracle Mask was also really good. That was the 3DS one we just finished on stream not long ago. But I've got to say, just when it comes down to like the story and the level of shit that it does in the story, and how how mental it goes, I've got to say that Unknown Future. I don't want to spoil it, but that's when Professor Layton ends up in a London from the past and runs into like a future version of Look. It's mental, absolutely mental. I can't really remember so much about his games. Like I like Elder Scrolls games, so like it's just easy to pick one of them. Oh, this is my what do you call it? Obsession. You know, this and professional wrestling. Speaking of professional wrestling, Professor Layton on Unknown Future is there. What wrestling game did I put on the list? Because there's been a ton of really, really, really good ones. I could put Fire Pro Wrestling Returns on there because that is when I got an emulator working for the PS2, I got super into that game, and that's where I sort of started building leagues. So I could put SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 in there because that's also really fucking good. Because there's actually a YouTube channel out there where I have put up CW matches where I try commentating over them. I think I privated the videos. You'll never see them. But if you're looking for Red Hulk versus Hulk on SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, that might be me. But anyway, I think I'm gonna count this as my favourite wrestling game ever. No, where is it? There we go. SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. Oh, All Stars is very, very good as well. WWE All Stars is phenomenal, really fun. Megan got me that for my birthday one year, and we sat and played that and Virtua Tennis 4 all night. It was great. But I think Here Comes the Pain is probably my favourite, just because of how fast and arcadey it is. And tell you what, Christmas 2003, great time for that. I think it's got one of my favourite. I think that's when I watched wrestling the most. Obviously, I'm a wrestler now, so I watch a lot of wrestling. But when I was a kid, 2003 and 2004 are like special times to me because they're like when I was super into it. And a lot of that was playing through the Here Comes the Pain story modes, tons of times, going for the Slobber Knocker mode. I think with SmackDown vs. Raw, it's when they started taking things out a lot. This is the last one that had an immense amount of content, I think. And, you know, like you could do run backstage everywhere and stuff like that. And they kind of started taking that out with like SmackDown vs. Raw, which came next. And I feel they've not ever been as fast and as arcadey and as fun as Here Comes the Pain since then. I feel like now they're dull as dishwater. But Here Comes the Pain, phenomenal. Oh god, I'm looking at the list now and there's stuff that I'm getting annoyed that I'm going to have to leave off. Right. Let's go with a fighting game, because we've not had a fighting game yet, have we? I mean, you could kind of say SmackDown and Guardian Heroes are. But, oh, it's going to be hard. What's my favourite fighting game? I've got tons of ones. Tell you what, I'm going to put multiple fighting games on this. I'll put in a game that has a really important part of me, because I used to sit and play as my dad all the time. I fucking adore Soul Calibur. But for me, Soul Calibur 4 really fucking, that's when I got really deep into the creation system and started playing it online and stuff like that, and I really love it. Same with Soul Calibur 5, I actually adore Soul Calibur 5. I love the sort of new generation of characters they put in. Soul Calibur 6, really good. It got ignored, but still a really good game overall. Soul Calibur's always been very good. Like Soul Calibur 3 was really good at putting like a tactical mode. They're very good for putting in like additional modes. I think Tekken as a whole, Tekken and Mortal Kombat are very good for focusing on single player gameplay, which I think really put them ahead of games like, you know, things like King of Fighters and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm talking shite, because my favourite Soul Calibur game is Soul Calibur 2. I think the Weapon Master mode is super fucking fun, even though it is just like text-based windows, and then you go through and fight someone with a, you know, special name, or you fight, you know, someone with a modifier. I think this is where the combat was so fast and fluid, the roster was so diverse and fun, you know. This is the first one I really got into. Me and my dad would sit and play this for hours. Raphael main, by the way, my boy. But aye, Soul Calibur 2, phenomenal game. Oh, that's when we're getting into hard tacks, because I kind of want to put a Tekken game in the list, but I don't want to use up 2 lists with also a Street Fighter game. Fuck. Right, I'm just having a wee look around the list. So, again, we're one per franchise. And what am I going to put on now? Because I kind of want to put in a diverse series of games. I don't want to have like just fighting. Fuck it. Right, what fighting game are we putting on? What guest character was the best Soul Calibur? So, I only ever played a bit. I played a bit of Link. I think Link was probably the best. Heihachi was the one I had because I had the PS2. Never played. I'll be honest. I think I've only played the original Xbox maybe twice in my life. I've not played it much. So Spawn, I've not got much. You know, don't know much about. But Link seemed to be more fun. I liked Heihachi because Heihachi was actually really broken. Because if you just press triangle, triangle, forward, triangle, it had a punch that 9 times out of 10 would have enough knockback. If you're in most arenas, would just knock the AI off of it. And the AI very rarely blocked this, and there was so much, there was so little recovery time for this punch that you could just spam that, and the AI wouldn't have much of a chance, you know. But anyways, enough about me cheesing things as a kid. Right. Oh, next one easy. This is one we've just beaten on stream, and it's... Nope, I need to put in the full name. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, which I get made by Vanillaware. It's a tactical RPG / adventure game, and it's one that always brings me to tears every single time I play it. It's really, really good. I was about to just start listing off spoilers there, but I won't, because the less you know about the game, the better it is. 13 Sentinels is amazing, beautiful art, a really great story, and that's all I want to say, because otherwise I will just go spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. Anyways, moving on, because otherwise this video is going to be very, very long. Oh god, right. I will put... Right, so, I'm between Tekken Dark Resurrection, Ultra Street Fighter 4, or Bloody Roar to Bringer of a New Age, because they're my... Oh... Tell you what, we'll come back to fighting games. Oh, there's another really obvious game, right. Another really obvious game, it's one of my favourites that I've not put on the list yet. Oh my god, do I put Bloodborne or do I put Bloodborne or do I put Dark Souls 1? Because we'll consider that the same series. Right, Bloodborne or Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 1 I think has the most freedom of gameplay. It feels like, you know, there's so many different builds you can do with it. And I really enjoyed Dark Souls 1. I thought it was like a really... I think it hits a really lovely bit between jank and like it feels like this weird game that you found in the back of Game Station in a glass case, you know, this weird Japanese one, or like the import bit in GeForce. But it's got enough polish to it that you don't get angry with it. But Bloodborne is just something else. Bloodborne's so fucking cool, with some of the most amazing music, and again boss fights. You can tell there's a theme here because I just love my boss fights. Tell you what, yeah, I've talked my way into it, Bloodborne. Because I remember the shock when I first seen that Amygdala in that game, and fuck me, it was wild. And then things like the Lady Maria boss fight, obviously that's DLC, but we'll still count that. The Lady Maria boss fight is something else. It's probably the best boss. I said Metal Gear Solid 3 has overall the best boss fights, but I think Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower might be the greatest boss fight I've ever done in a video game. Maybe. Right, what else have we got on this list? What have we got? I've not even played Bloodborne, I'll pick over. Oh, you weren't a big fan of DS1, were you? Oh my god, how could I forget this? Again, I'm looking at my list now, but there's gonna be so many games that I have to leave off the list, and so many that I'm gonna be raging that. But Kingdom Hearts 2 is... It's perfect, that's all I can say about it. Kingdom Hearts 2 is so fucking good. I think that's when like it's a lot faster than Kingdom Hearts 1. I like Kingdom Hearts 1, but Kingdom Hearts 2 is so much faster. And it's like, as a kid, obviously I was I think most kids my age and round when I was born were big into Disney because that's when the Disney home video craze sort of kicked off, And then suddenly it was like, wow, it's Disney and Final Fantasy is made for me, And that was kind of Kingdom Hearts 2. The thing is, people slag the story in Kingdom Hearts for being ridiculous. It is, but it's no more ridiculous than our Final Fantasy story. But I think that Kingdom Hearts 2 is before the story got even more ridiculous. Before it jumped the shark, even though it jumped the shark a long time ago with fucking Goofy and Donald Duck cutting about. But I think the world selection is really fun. It made Atlantica optional, which was the best thing about it. I remember playing a Kingdom Hearts game at my friend's house as a kid with Magic. Oh, it's so good. So good. I think this is... Does that count as the same series with Final Fantasy? We'll say no. But, oh my god, we've only got 8 spaces left. Fuck. Oh god, Kingdom Hearts 2 is up there. I'll move them around afterwards, but... There's still so many. I was like, Fire... Kingdom Hearts is massively overrated. I've only played Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, 3, and I tried Birth by Sleep. I am not one of these guys that has played every single fucking spin-off. But when Kingdom Hearts is good, it's phenomenal. But see when it's bad, oh lord, it's bad. But Kingdom Hearts 2 is perfect in my opinion. Like, I remember being... How old was I when the game came out? I was about 12 or 13. I want to say about 12 because I was still staying in a certain house that I had as a kid. And I remember just after I had a really shit day at school, like really shit, and I came back, and the thing is, a lot of these games is because I've got a personal connection with, like Persona 4, shit like that, Katawa Shoujo, but I had a really shit day at school, and the only thing that really got me through that day at school is knowing I've got the final boss coming up, because just it's like Kingdom Hearts 2, like the final save point is literally you're looking up to this big fucking this door. I think it's a door or a gateway. That's where you're gonna fight the final boss, and the final boss is this like multi-stage phenomenal fight. But I was just like, so I've got a really nice memory of that. Is going like thinking the shit day of school, going like no matter what I do, that's waiting for me. That's what I've got to look forward to. And when I beat that fight, oh my god, amazing! I remember there's a bit where you need to spam triangle to like literally you and Riku are back to back in the lethal weapon pose, and you have to press triangle to block attacks, and it is a bullet hell level amount of attacks. So you're spamming the triangle button, and my mum came in and was like, "Right, Michael, it's time for dinner. Turn the game off." I was like, "No, mum, no, I'm sorry." I'm just screaming like spamming triangle, and then she comes in and she's watching, going, "Oh, that's a lot of bullets." And I was like, "I know, I'm blocking them. Look, But I think because Kingdom Hearts 2 has such a special time in my heart, and stuff like that. But I love Kingdom Hearts 2. Anyways, oh god. I've not put a Pokemon... Do I want to put a Pokemon game in the list? I can't do it, but... Oh... Right, actually, there's another one I've not... I need to put on. Another game that I only played on stream that I adore was Monkey Island, but... Oh, what's my favourite Monkey Island game? I'm going to say... Tails was really fun. The original Monkey Island is there, which is really good. Monkey Island 2 is pretty close to perfect, but my favourite is Curse of Monkey Island. Curse of Monkey Island was like, I think that's when the writing was at the peak. I think that's when the animation was really, really fun. I think that was my favourite when it came down to the story, because a lot of Monkey Island games are really, really good. The only one I'd say is bad, actually, Escape from Monkey Island is good, apart from one thing that takes up the last third of the game, and that's Monkey Combat. But I think Curse of Monkey Island is the one with the least annoying mechanics, but overall is my favourite one in the series. In fact, yeah, it was the first one that introduced that. Was it Murray, the evil skull? My favourite side character in all of Monkey Island, but Curse of Monkey Island is my favourite, I think, when it comes to Monkey Island games. Oh, every time I look back at this list, it hurts me. Like, I've not put a BioWare game in the list yet. Oh god. I mean, between Mass Effect 3... right, boys, overall, I think I prefer Mass Effect 3 over Mass Effect 2. This has got to get me some heat here, but because I only ever played Mass Effect 3 in the Andromeda Collection, which had all of the DLC, and that includes, if we're talking this full package here, I think I prefer Mass Effect 3 with my playthrough, with all my carryover stuff, and with the Citadel DLC. Because, you've spent so long with these characters, then suddenly here's a DLC that you're just kind of fucking about with. and I think Citadel is one of the best DLCs I've ever played. But do I put Mass Effect on this list, or do I put Dragon Age 1? Oh, I do love Dragon Age 1. I also like Knights of the Old Republic. Oh, right, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to it. I'll think about it in the way. Oh, right. So I know I said one per franchise. No, I've never played Jedi Empire. I remember always seeing the cover and going, "Oh, I probably should get round to that," because it was always in the Game Station, but I never played. No, I've spelt that wrong. I think we'll go with Crisis Core, but specifically the PSP version. I adore Crisis Core. It might not be the deepest game in the world with the deepest combat, but that was my first time really sort of digging into Final Fantasy VII. In fact, because I didn't play Final Fantasy VII as a guy, I jumped straight into 8. I couldn't play 7 because I found the graphics were too bad. I know, fucking string me up, and I deserve it for saying that, but when it came to Final Fantasy VII, I just couldn't get over the graphics, and the story in Final Fantasy and Crisis Core is really, really good with Zack. And then, spoiler alert, boys, for anyone who doesn't know, and anyone who hasn't, literally, we have a guy in the chat whose name is named after Final Fantasy VII. Crisis Core has a really great story, but in the end, it has one of the most emotional climaxes of any game I've ever played. So much so, I remember, so I finished this game on back from a flight from Spain. I was sitting next to it was me, my sister, and two strangers on opposite sides of us, and I was bawling my eyes out. Had my headphones jacked into my PSP, having a wee greet. Oh, it was so much, but just like the emotion on that, and I just love Crisis Core. I know it's not as good as like other Final Fantasy games, but and also we're doing one per franchise, but spin-off. So well, let me that. Right, what have I not put on this list? What's not been on this? We've got 6 left. Oh god. Oh. Easy. My favourite game from last year, Astrobot. Because, boys, I cannot tell you the amount of what's it called in your head when you chase the serotonin? That's it. The amount of serotonin and happiness I feel when that wee bastard just walks. When he walks and he goes, or he just turns and waves at the camera. He is one of the greatest mascots ever created in video games, and fuck me, I would die for him. I love Astrobot. Yeah, that game made me so fucking happy. And the genuine amounts of wonder, and then how the fact how every level felt like a brand new gimmick. And the gimmicks never got like old. They were constantly getting, reused in really interesting ways. Every level felt drastically different and never felt like nothing overstayed its welcome. I fucking adore it. And also just when it comes down to, like, I hate to say it, at fanboy level of, oh, I recognise that. Like, I remember sitting with Megan because we played this together, and we found a random challenge, and it was like, oh, it's Leon. Leon Kennedy. One of Megan's favourite games is Resident Evil 2, and she fancied the fuck out of Leon. So as soon as she was like, oh look, go get Leon. And then the next one we went into, there was Teddy from Persona 4, and I was like, oh shit. Oh, look at that. Look at, because there was sort of cameo appearances. But aye, when it comes to down to the music, just the pure happiness that game gave me, I cannot not have it on the list. Astrobot. Right. Oh, I'm looking back and listening to a lot we've not got. I'd love to put. There's so many ones on here. I know I'm gonna hate this list going back and looking at it. I'm gonna absolutely despise it. But like, oh god, right. Tell you what, actually, we'll put this one. Oh wait, no, it's not. I've not clicked on that. Let's try that. Let's try. Oh my gosh, I can't spell it. There we go. I feel like, oh yeah, I'll see a second upload this video. I'll be raging. I'm gonna put Police Knots in it. No, that's the pilot disc. That's like a demo. I'm gonna put Police Knots in this as the music here in the background. Police Knots is one of Hideo Kojima's early games. It is an adventure game, which is basically a sci-fi version of Lethal Weapon, but it has Kojima's style. I think Kojima is one of the greatest video game directors ever made. But I think he's one of the best video game directors. But I do feel Death Stranding is too Kojima, if you get what I mean. But Police Knots has the same sort of ingenuity and fun and creativity that's in the later Metal Gear Solid games. I mean, his parents, but they did make them. So I feel like I need to put Police Knots on here somewhere. I'm between that and Snatcher. Oh my god, did I put that Snatcher on? Oh my god, that and Snatcher are both phenomenal. He's one of a kind. Aye, for better or for worse, Kojima's one of a kind. Oh my god, I'm stuck where I should put Snatcher on the list as well. Oh, not as well, instead. Bear in mind, both these games are like neck and neck for me. You know what? I think Police Knots has some annoying bits in it. I'm gonna put Snatcher on there instead. Snatcher's phenomenal again. Same thing. Everything sort of carries over. It's in a very sort of fun cyberpunk world. It's kind of like Blade Runner. Saying that, Police Knots is basically the weapon. Snatcher's just Blade Runner. But it really pushes what you can do with things like the Sega CD and shit like that. Oh, so wait, I know it's hard, but consider these both the same one, so I can't choose between either of them. So consider it both Snatcher or Police Knots. Actually, I prefer that. I prefer the gold cover. There we go. Oh, there's so many fighting games I'll put on the list. There's so many good games. Lads, why did I ever agree to do this? There's so many games that I'm not putting on the list. It's gotta break my heart. Oh, another one that I only played recently for streams that I shouldn't have, because Beyond Good and Evil is never getting a sequel. I wish it did, but I fucking adore Beyond Good and Evil. Just when it comes down to the sort of like style, you play as a journalist who's hunting down, basically trying to take this big corporation, but you're putting in sort of 3D platforming, driving, photography, stealth. It's really fucking good. I really, really, really love Beyond Good and Evil, and I really shouldn't have played it because that means I want a sequel, and that sequel's never coming. Right, Beyond Good and Evil. Right, I need to put a fighting game on this list. So, I've got Soul Calibur 2 up there, but I want to put. Do I put Tekken, which I fucking adore? Tekken's got a lot of really good games in it. I don't think Tekken's ever had a truly bad game, apart from Death by Degrees, maybe. But honestly, any of the mainline ones could be on the list. Tekken 8 was phenomenal. Tekken 3 it changed the game when it came to things. I really like Tekken 4, but Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection is really good. But oh, do I want to put Tekken on the list? I don't know. Fuck. Actually, no. I've talked myself out of it. Fuck. Actually. So, when I was trying to count down Street Fighter, what one did I go? Because there's a bunch of Street Fighter games, there's a lot of them, 1,000 ones. I was between Street Fighter 2, I think probably Hyper Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Street Fighter Third Strike, or Ultra Street Fighter 4, which I think might be my favourite one. Fucking adore the sort of slower paced gameplay, but Ultra Street Fighter 4 also has a phenomenal roster. It's massive. It's I think the only person that's literally missing is Elena, and then Elena's in it. Who am I thinking that was? Oh, it was Alex. I was going to say Alex or Gil. But apart from that, I think the roster's absolutely phenomenal. I think it's perfect, you know. Street Fighter 4 is probably the game that saved fighting games, you know, because I think that's after that is when they really sort of came back. But Ultra Street Fighter 4 is phenomenal. It's come for 8 years since Beyond Good and Evil was shown at E3. Fucking hell! Oh god. I'll be around the same time as Elder Scrolls. Was it Elder Scrolls 6 was shown off? And now it's just as long between that reveal as it was between Elder Scrolls 6 and Skyrim. Which, that's a big one. Saying that, Oblivion's also on. Talking about Bethesda, Oblivion and Fallout New Vegas are also on this list, but they're not getting in because I'm realising how tight I need to be with cuts here. Oh god, I'd love to put an RPG on, but I don't know if I can. Oh lads, I need to. How can I not put Chrono Trigger on the list? Chrono Trigger, Earthbound as well. Fuck me. Oh, there's so many great, amazing RPGs. Right, I'm just having a look. What am I gonna put? Oh, I need to put Portal on the list. Where's original Portal? There we go. just when it comes to pure innovation, fun as well, like I originally played Portal when I got the orange box on Xbox 360, and I remember my mum buying it for my birthday, going, "Well, it's like buying you 5 games in one. That's what it says in the box. Oh, what a deal, you know." And I enjoyed Half-Life 2. What I played, I honestly, boys, that's the most time I put in Team Fortress 2 was when I was playing it on the Xbox 360. No add-ons, no extra items, just Black Tar Heroin, Team Fortress 2, and I really enjoyed that. But Portal was something else. So fucking good. So, just like ingenious idea design with the portals and using them to go through puzzles and shit like that. It's something else. You can see me play it with Kieran. Well, you can see me play Portal 2 with Kieran, which was probably the greatest thing I've ever done in stream. Oh my god, we've only got one more on the list. Right, what I'll do is I'll read out some. Once I figure out what the final game on the list is, I'll read out some honorable mentions that never got on it. Oh, what am I gonna put on? What's gonna be the last one? Oh god, right, I'm just looking through this. Castlevania Bloodlines is a possibility. That's probably gonna be honorable mention, but oh fuck it, I know what I'll put on. Okay, I'm already raging typing this one out because I know there's so many ones that aren't gonna get counted. Where is Three Houses? Engage. No, yeah, Fire Emblem Three Houses. There we go. No Billy Hatcher, I'm afraid. Never played Billy Hatcher. Might add that to my list. My to-do list. But oh god, right. Again, I fucking adore Fire Emblem Three Houses. It was the first Fire Emblem game I played. I heard a friend talk about it, and I was like, you know what? I'll give it a try. And the whole bit where you're working as a teacher and you get to know these students and stuff like that, and half the game is just sort of training them up and doing a really in-depth story. And all the characters are so well written and so interesting. And then, like, the game is already like a 9 out of 10, and then the halfway point happens, and suddenly everyone that you're not affiliated with is at war with you, and you're having to go to war with friends. It is so fucking emotional, it's so fucking sad, it's so powerful, it's phenomenal. And the amount of creativity you get with your character and all the other characters who you can change their you can change their their classes and so. It's just so much fun. It's just phenomenal. And I cannot describe to you how good Fire Emblem Three Houses. Shame that Engage isn't hitting the same way, but Three Houses is something else. And the thing is, I want to play it on stream, but I don't know if I'll be able to choose another house that's not Edelgard's, however you say her name. Even though I'm sure the rest of them are all well written and shit like that, but I just love the game so much. Right, let's play around with this a little bit. So I'm going to move Support VR further down here, I think. Shadow of the Colossus, Parasite Eve, I think move them up a bit. I think I'll move Parasite Eve up because I definitely have that in my top 10 at least. Here Comes the Pain down a bit. Crisis Core down a bit, I'd say. You know what? Unordered, I think that looks good. Right, so we've got some honourable mentions that never made it in. We've got things like Baldur's Gate 3, things like Bloody Roar 2, Bring of a New Age, Castlevania Bloodlines, Chrono Trigger, Dragon Age Origins, Earthbound, Fear and Hunger 2 Termina, Kudelka, Mass Effect 3, Mega Man 2, Metal Gear Acid 2, Metroid Zero Mission, Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, because they're basically the same fucking game. Which got things like Silent Hill 2, things like Spyro 2 Gateway to Glimmer, Super Mario Odyssey, phenomenal game, Tenchu Wrath of Heaven, The Sims 2 and PSP specifically, the adventure game, nothing else like it, so fucking good. Time Splitters Future Perfect, that should be on the list, oh god. Because that's a fucking amazing game full with the most content ever. Oh, it's so good. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, X-Men Mutant Academy 2, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Marvel Rivals, Darkstalkers Chronicle Chaos Tower, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 Turtles in Time, Deadly Premonition, Clock Tower The First Fear, Way of the Samurai, Bioshock Infinite, Ghost of Tsushima, and Spider-Man 2 from the PS5 one. Oh boys, there we go, that is me counted out all my favourite games, and we'll go Super Hot VR, Smackdown Here Comes the Pain, Crazy Squad Final Fantasy 7, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Portal, Ultra Street Fighter 4, Beyond Good and Evil, Snatcher, Astrobot, Curse of Monkey Island, Kingdom Hearts 2, Bloodborne, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, Soul Calibur 2, Pressure Lightning Unbound Future, Hunting Ground, Guardian Heroes, Sly 2, Band of Thieves, Shadow Colossus, Parasite Eve, Overwatch, Kataba Shoujo, Final Fantasy 9, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater / Subsistence, and number 1, Shin Megami Tensei 4, Persona. Oh, sorry, Shin Megami Tensei, Persona 4. I fucked that right at the end, boys. Very Mikey thing just to fuck it in. But aye, thank you for joining us for that countdown. That was one of the hardest things I've ever done on the stream. Because fuck me, whew, what a time. Why can't I find any Crimson Apples? Good question. But aye, that'll be us, boys. Cheers for joining us. Catch you later. See yous!